what happened to my? Okay, come on, picture. Here we go. All right, y'all. This is my first time doing this on TikTok and on YouTube, so everybody can hear me. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to do this. Got my water, got my electrolytes. This is gonna be an interesting topic. I want to hit it on both sides. I'm running kind of late, y'all, so bear with me. If you get the playback, please, please, please make sure y'all share this. This is important. This is going to probably rub some people the wrong way. And this is my last time touching on this kind of topic amongst our people. I'm going to play something so people come up in the room. You know what I'm saying? And for people in TikTok world who are not black, really, I mean, it's part of we talking about eugenics. You know what I'm saying? We talking about eugenics. So I'm gonna play something, and then we're just gonna kind of break it down and stuff like this. All right.
Human breeding, something good or something bad. The word eugenics is almost radioactive, but people have always tried to make better humans. And if engineering better people is so bad, why does the idea keep coming back? On paper, improving the human race sounds humane, ending disease and suffering. But in practice, it's gotten ugly. About as bad can get. I'm Ken LaCourte. I dig into touchy subjects like this to get us to be able to understand them better. I researched this, and I'm not about to tell you what to think or feel, but I looked at the past and future of eugenics to explain how we got here and why the urge to perfect ourselves keeps finding new life. We'll take a look at breeding people better and how an idea that seemed reasonable to a lot of smart thinkers turned into Hitler's eugenics revolution. Then we'll see how the new eugenics lives on, because this is by no means something relegated to the history books. Okay, so humans have been trying to breed better people for a long time. Before scientists existed, ancient societies were making tough decisions about who should live and who shouldn't. In Sparta, newborns were inspected by the state elders, and if any baby was weak or deformed, it was left to die. It wasn't seen as cruelty, but as a public duty. In Plato's Republic, he imagined an ideal city where rulers secretly used lotteries to arrange mating behavior between the best men and the best women. And royal families in Europe wanted pure blood, which often meant marrying their own cousins. Ironically, this inbreeding led to some spectacular genetic disasters, like deformities, infertility, and all sorts of cognitive problems. The idea that society could and should manage human reproduction started well before modern labs, but it took science to make eugenics respectable. So Charles Darwin revolutionized evolutionary theory, and he warned that compassion might interfere with nature's harsh balance, because in nature, disabled or weaker members likely don't survive.
What's going on, Red Hill? So we on YouTube and we on TikTok, so it's gonna be a little different. What's up, Red? So they can hear you too. So yeah, like I'm gonna be playing. Yeah, because I'm actually they see me on actually YouTube, but on here you can only hear my voice. So yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit of this. This is gonna be a deep one on Red Hill. This is deep. So we gonna touch on some things. All right, here we go.
But in human societies, we protect them. Darwin didn't specifically call for cruelty, but he planted a seed of an idea. His half cousin, Francis Galton, coined the word eugenics in 1883 and defined it as the science of improving the human stock. He believed society could speed up natural selection through human intelligence. What nature did slowly and brutally, man could do quickly and kindly. And while it's easy to get all finger pointing and all this, kind was exactly how eugenists saw themselves. They didn't view themselves as cruel, they were saving humanity. By the early 1900s, eugenics was cutting edge among scientists and university elites who believed that they were applying data and compassion to the human problem. If disease, poverty, and crime could be traced to bad genes, then it made all the sense in the world to fix those genes. Harvard geneticist Edward East wrote that, quote, social progress without eugenics is unthinkable, as he argued that less desirable people were reproducing faster than fit ones. And people, especially back then, were impressed by expertise. Scientific solutions to social problems sounded very modern, very humane, and eugenics fit perfectly into that.
And I'm gonna stop right there. So this basically talking about, and I'm saying this, because I've been talking to some of my peers, and it's a conversation I think black people ain't really ready for. And I know some guys who really believe in it. There's a lot of black eugenicists out there. Y'all know that, right? There's a black people believe that we should not mate with other black people that have certain not just even genetic issues. Like some people have born mental illness, or family members might be having certain diseases or whatever. But the point, like for instance, if you get a Serena Williams and a LeBron James, see back in the breeding forms when they was breeding us, that would have been that's something they're used for athletes and stuff. They pretty much that's how we came to the athletes we have now. That's pretty much how they did it through the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Well, through slavery. Um, but they was practicing eugenics for a long time. And don't get it twisted, y'all. This is an old thing. This been going on for way in the ancient times. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of black people I've been talking to. It's been actually this conversation been going on for almost 2 years, y'all. And I'm gonna say this: some black people don't need to mate with other black people. I believe that because we wouldn't have the issues we have in our communities. And I'm gonna break. I got some more. I got some more information and a lot of data. Y'all gonna be surprised that I had this little research and stuff. Some of y'all probably already know about this stuff, but the thing is, you just can't have babies with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Just a fact. We just can't. We got to stop doing that. I'm talking about black people. We got to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? We got to start having it. I can speak from experience. I did have 2 kids by the wedlock. I should have never did it. It was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And don't get it twisted. You can, even if you get married, yeah, you can get a divorce and stuff, but at least you know that's the woman you want to have your children with. You got a chance to sit down and talk to her and ask her, you have any issues, your family, any kind of genetic problem, stuff like that. Not just that, what's her IQ level? What's your IQ level? You know what I'm saying? Do you like to work out? Does she like to work out? Like, does she take her health serious? How does she eat? You know what I'm saying? I think all that matters when you talking about actually, when I say hit the reset button as a people, that's some of the things we need to focus on. We just can't, you can, okay, you can have all the babies in the world, but if you're not compatible with that person, especially mentally and spiritually, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a problem later down the line. That's why you got these kids wilding out. They don't know what the hell wrong with them because a lot of them don't even know who their fathers are. So I had to throw that out there. But let me play a bit more. You want to say anything on that, Red Hills? You want to touch on that? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's excellent, and I'm glad that you're talking about this because that's the problem. You see a lot of these kids, and you say, you know what, that father and that mother should have never got together and made them babies. Just like the term. I think that this goes in the line with the term, like well born or good stock. That's part of that Darwin theory from way back in the 1800s. But go ahead, you're on point. I know a lot about this too.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a little bit more, and I'm gonna break some more stuff down. Here we go. All right.
At that time, the United States was churning with all sorts of social change as immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe made some worry that America's stock was deteriorating. Now, part of that thinking led to immigration quotas, but it also led to more dramatic measures. In 1907, Indiana passed the world's first eugenics sterilization law. It allowed institutions to sterilize people who were labeled degenerate or mentally ill. Dozens of states copied the move, and in 1927, the Supreme Court gave its blessing. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote that it was better for the world if society could prevent some people from procreating, and said 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. That ruling.
Hey, man, that's deep. The government, y'all. The damn government.
Opened the door to decades of forced sterilizations in the United States. Eventually, they say around 65,000 Americans were sterilized under these laws. California alone performed about a third of them.
This is a final warning. Your PDF reader version is outdated. Unless you
okay, what were we talking about? Okay, all right.
These programs were so well documented that Nazi Germany later cited them as proof that mass sterilization was feasible and humane. Eugenics also became part of mainstream education. And by the 20s, a third of U.S. high school biology textbooks endorsed the idea. The Eugenics Record Office at Cold Spring Harbor, funded by the Carnegie Institution, compiled massive hereditary databases to identify patterns of degeneracy. And the movement wasn't limited to one political side. Progressives saw it as social hygiene. Some early feminists backed it as a way to empower women through birth control and prevent unwanted children. Even socialists like George Bernard Shaw talked about eliminating undesirables humanely. In Europe, Winston Churchill and economist John Maynard Keynes both voiced sympathy for eugenic ideas. Scandinavia took it even further. Sweden sterilized tens of thousands, and by the 1930s, eugenics went mainstream. There were international.
And this is what I want to talk about too, y'all. I'm looking. I know y'all can't see me, but on YouTube, I'm moving around stuff trying to find. This the thing, man. You had a lot of important people like William Churchill. You know, I read his book. These are prominent, respectable people who are for eugenics. Y'all, they always talk about the HITLER guy, but you had Americans. Who do you think he learned that from? America. It went in Germany first. America was already was doing eugenics and stuff. Let's proceed.
Congresses, research societies, and even family competitions. State fairs held Better Babies and Fitter Families contests. They gave trophies to those with the most eugenically sound traits. Newspapers praised the winner like they were livestock champions. And in 1917, a film called The Black Stork told the story of a doctor who let a disabled infant die, calling it a eugenic love story. Selective death was sold as patriotic and kind. But there were some holdouts, and the most consistent and vocal opponent was the Catholic Church. It called eugenics a violation of human dignity and divine law, and it said no authority could directly harm the integrity of the body. Philosopher Bertrand Russell also warned in 1924 that once governments accepted that power, they'd broaden it. He imagined a future where even political dissidents or poor students could be labeled as unfit and get sterilized. And almost right on cue, in the 30s, Germany proved that point, as the Nazis took the same research, data, and academic logic to a terrible extreme. But before that, I want to talk about finances for a minute. So I'm pretty particular about sponsorships here on this channel, since the biggest asset I have is your guys' trust in me. And there are a lot of people who have $1 billion in debt. So if you're struggling with loans, you should definitely.
I'm trying to promote his thing.
Hitler didn't invent eugenics, but he stripped away any hesitation and went from preventing births to mass murder of those already born.
I won't take a hit on
this. He
this.
was obsessed with eugenics for years before he went public with it. And while in prison in the 20s, he read eugenics books by British and American writers. He even called Madison Grant.
Now, you heard he said now by British and American writers. He learned that from America. So that's what I'm saying. There's just a little history on that because a lot of us didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Hitler learned eugenics from American and British? Did y'all know that? You know that, Red?
No.
See, so you found something new every day. So it's like, okay, I mean, so is he really the bad guy at the end of the day? Like, he was a bad guy, but was he really that bad? If he learned from the people who's supposed to be, we supposed to be the liberators of the, or the free world, whatever. So yeah, let me. I'm trying to let people know because I'm okay. So I'm gonna. Here we go. All right, good. I'm on my other channel so I can set this to my people. So yeah, man. I wanted to play that so some people don't understand what eugenics is. You know what it is, and especially with our people, they don't understand how it works. So how about you fit? So Red Hill, what's your thoughts on? Like you just said earlier, you don't believe that we should, be, mating with somebody who who got, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but I think we should mate with somebody who's compatible to us. We need to sit down before we even think about having sex because it's a chance that one time we have sex, you can get pregnant and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So we should sit down and especially in the situation that we are as a people. You got it.
I was gonna say too. Also, too, the one thing that's not talked about too is just that when you meet somebody and you meet their family, you start to say, oh my God, look at their characteristics in their families. The way that some people just have bad characteristics.
Facts.
There's positive eugenics and there's negative eugenics.
Facts.
We spoke a lot about this when I was in college, getting my master's degree, and they were talking about how people get to know each other first because next thing you know. You mate with somebody, their exterior can look nice, but their interior, their bloodline, their DNA could be treacherous when it comes to making kids. You understand what I'm saying? And that's something that's not talked about. Everybody's in the heat of the moment. And it's like, damn, when that baby comes out, there's all type of traits that they have that you didn't even look into. Mm-hmm. I think that nowadays when people date, you need to know, especially like people got diabetes or they got deformative bloodlines. Let's just be real. Some people got some traits that are out of this world. And also too, like our a lot of people want to mix with us because we have superior traits,
Mhm.
if you will. Black people got superior traits. We're more of the positive eugenics.
Mhm.
And a lot of our white tea counterparts, they don't have those positive eugenics that we have. And that's something that's really not talked about. You know what I'm saying? People just want to say, oh well, you're being, biased. But no, I'm not being biased, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Because we know that we can look at a certain demographic of people, and you can say, oh my God, look at their whole family is kind of messed up. You ever look at somebody and
Yeah.
say, damn, their whole family is messed up.
Yeah.
Who wants to mate with that and make a baby?
Exactly.
You know,
That'd be
I'm telling
fun.
you, brothers, put on 6 condoms, and a rain jacket.
They don't want to hear that, man. They trying to they think about that moment. You're right though, 'cause I have seen, especially in our community, especially in Louisiana, Mississippi, it's bad, but I have seen it that you see a family like, wow, they look almost like, yeah, they didn't look too bright. Not trying to talk about them, just you just know that they should have not been mating with people. You know what I'm saying? So everybody ain't made to have children now, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be God or whatever. Everybody's not made to have children. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, some people have children that look like the hills have eyes. It's like, why do their whole family look like the hills have eyes? Like, where in the hell you want to mate with that? Seriously, there's
Yeah.
some of our brothers and sisters who want to be having
Yeah.
that close proximity to whiteness, they'll
Yeah.
lay it with anything. And it's
Yeah.
like just to get that little beige baby to offset their low self-esteem that they have. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say I can name a whole bunch of people right now who are involved with the other people just to offset their dark skinness because they probably were not taught how beautiful dark skin is. So, they probably was teased. When they get older, they mix with people. They don't even check their bloodline or their genetics. And then sometimes other people, I'm not even going to say a certain race, they like to mate with their cousins and their aunts and
Yeah.
that close bloodline. And that's how the babies come out like that. And some people are a product of that. So
Yep.
you got to be really careful. So this is an excellent topic, but it's a topic that's not really too popular of having.
Oh
You
yeah,
understand what I'm
especially
saying?
myself,
Though?
yeah.
Until afterwards.
Somebody said, let me see. Somebody in the comments said, I try and get a white man because so I can be a stay-at-home mom and babies can be smart. Okay. They say any black is black though. I don't know. I don't know who that.
And that person need to go and just ride by the river and keep going because that's just disgusting when people say that though. I
Yeah.
try to get a white man because I can be a stay-at-home mom and the babies could be smart. See, that's the problem with a lot of people to make that comment. That's probably just a troll.
Oh yeah.
But if
most
not,
definitely.
just listen to Red Hills Lady though.
Yeah.
Never ever say that you want to be with a white tea person because you see them as the dominant society that has a complexion for the protection. But deep down inside, though, they have suppressed so much history and knowledge. And if you don't know your history, of course you would say something as astronomical and dumbass. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
like a dumb comment.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying, Dr. May?
It's
It's
over
dumb.
now. No, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap screen, y'all follow the whole. And yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to get used to it. I'm on the YouTube screen too, but yeah, yeah, man. So let's take it to us now. And you're right. People we do make with other people for them reasons and stuff like that. And then and look, hey, they're Drake's son, but Drake is half Jewish and half real estate agent and black. So what's up, LeBron? And so in his case, it's different. I think his baby mother is she's an ex porn star. She's like Italian or something. And if you look at Drake's son, yeah, just get a picture and look at Drake's son, and then tell me what you think. But I'm talking about let's go to black people. So because I'm really want to really, like I said, I really want to tackle this issue in our community for us, like a lot of because we really not moving. Some of us are as individuals, but we got to keep it real. What can we do as a people when it comes down who we lay with and thinking about generations and generational wealth and what I'm saying, like other groups they do that, like they actually okay, I gotta find the best, the brightest person, the smartest person, the physically fit person. I got no problem with that. If I get with a woman, yeah, you can fall in love with anybody, but at the same time, if I'm gonna be in shape, you're gonna be in shape. I'm gonna push your ass because then while we have babies, my baby's gonna be in shape. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna like my son, for instance,
Exactly.
my son.
Exactly, Dr. Mays.
Exactly. My son, I'm proud of him, my first grandchild. My son paid to get his food prep. My 1-year-old grandbaby drinks smoothies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because my son, I taught
That's
that to him
good.
when he
That's
was
good.
young. So yeah, we got to start doing stuff like that as a community. You know what I'm saying? Because we complain about why certain black people act in certain ways, certain behaviors and stuff like that. These teen takeovers and stuff. Let me tell you something. It's no way. And all these major cities, all these teen takeovers, all these kids, 15, 13 years old out here running amok, acting a fool. Them parents, it's on the parents. That means them parents, something wrong with them in the head. There's no way my 13, 12, 15, even 16-year-old will be out late night, roaming the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's a problem. I kind of looked at it like that, like something ain't right. I remember when I was growing up, there's no way thousands of us gonna be running around in the streets. Remember, we come from that, we came from that last era where we had both parents in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, from them 60s and 70s type parents, we come from that last era. Now the era now, they're not doing that, you know.
Right.
Um,
And then also too, with that, Dr. Mays, I think that because like I say, I'm very boisterous at the school district that I
yeah. Oh, she's on pause. She moves in a bad spot.
no, I
Okay.
got a call. That's
Gotcha. Okay.
somebody else calling at the wrong time.
Mhm.
But what I was going to say is just that I think that we spend a lot of time just blaming the parents,
Mhm.
and we forget about a lot of the obstacles that have been thrown in our neighborhoods that took the fathers out of the household, and that's a trickle down effect as that parent probably working two jobs, that parent trying to put food on the table, paying the bills. Your teenagers, because I know a lot of teenagers who have a mother and father, live in a nice neighborhood, but when they get around other kids, they act a damn fool. And I be looking at some of the kids like, you wasn't even raised like that. Why are you
Facts.
acting like that? But unfortunately, more often than not, because of the fact that in the past, we as black people, we never was allowed to control the narrative. Now we're on these social media streets, we can debunk a lot of those narratives, that propaganda that's been pushed out there. Now, don't get me wrong, though. I do blame some parents, but I also blame the system who systemically did things to our community. From that sea epidemic, though, they took the fathers out of the household. They told us that we can't discipline our children. There's a host of things that added to those parents. And nowadays we have children having children. A lot of these young girls who are barely developed and having children. Not getting their prenatal vitamins, having kids who are, either coming out autistic or has attention deficit disorder, or has some type of blood abnormality. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's so many things that's added to all of that. So we as black people have to be careful of our words when we just blame the parent. Because remember, a lot of these parents are single black women who have been left to raise these kids. And you're right. There's no way that my children are going to be out late at night. It's just not going to happen. But I wish that we had certain programs that was geared just for us, because a lot of these so-called legacy agencies, they forgot about us. They're dealing with immigrants. They get the money under the guise of saying black. They're not helping black people. We really need help.
Exactly.
We're the only group of people that deal with the level of discrimination that we have dealt with, and it's still happening every single day. And I'm mute.
Okay. On YouTube, LeBron, shout out to Broken Tradition. Yeah, Broken Traditions. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. Great channel. He said my son won't be part of that team takeover, but he was a part of the Knicks championship parade. LOL. Yeah. Hey man, shout out to New York Knicks. But I tell you, some of that was crazy. But I seen people ripping people's jerseys. But yeah, I'm gonna play some more of this real quick, y'all. Then we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna get into what I got pulled up. Was kind of interesting, but like you said, your boy Hitler, he had ideas from eugenics from America and British. For those who don't know, who just coming in, you know what I'm saying? So let's play some more here.
And two, also, if I can add to that, Dr. Mays, a lot of them back in those times, it's really not talked about in history, but they studied the black body, the brain, the heart.
Of course.
They studied our bloodline. They studied everything about us because they knew who was the superior and had the best genes.
Mhm.
They just don't have the best genes. I don't care. They can so-called say somebody is so smart and be at the top of Forbes list, but they don't have the best genes. We have the best genes ever. We're the most studied people across the world.
Facts.
And I'm mute.
Facts. And I'm gonna touch on that too after I play this. Yeah. See, turn this back up.
Especially impressed with the United States. In Mein Kampf, Hitler praised America's immigration laws that started barring what he saw as inferior races, and he certainly liked its segregation of black citizens. Nazi propagandist Alfred Rosenberg later wrote that the United States led the way in preserving racial purity through law. And one California eugenics leader even bragged of their role in shaping Hitler's policies. When the Nazis took power, they went into action right away. In 1933, Germany enacted the law for the prevention of hereditarily diseased offspring, which ordered compulsory sterilization for people with conditions like schizophrenia, epilepsy, hereditary deafness or blindness, deformities, and chronic alcoholism. Special hereditary health courts.
Let me ask y'all a question. Just be real with me. I'm just saying. Take emotions out of this. Was some of that stuff bad what they did? For as like, say somebody who got schizophrenic, schizophrenic. That's a terrible disease to have. You know what I'm saying? You got people who have taken out, unalived a lot of people because they had that, and you didn't too much you can do about it. But a person like that don't need to have children, right or wrong. Do y'all agree with that? A person who is
Wait, what you just say? Go ahead, repeat what you just
a
said.
per- a
What
per-
type of person?
a person who's schizophrenic, or you know what I'm saying, a person who had these split personalities and stuff like that, should they be out here having children?
They shouldn't be, but a lot of those people who their exterior does not display or warrant someone who may be attracted to them that they are schizophrenic. It's not until you kind of get to know that person, they go off. That somebody could put some cheese on a hamburger. All of a sudden, they just could pew the whole house up, and you say, "Oh shoot, I didn't know." So sometimes you don't know, but I think that like you ever notice how somebody else on the outside can see stuff that you never saw on the inside? Like when we were young, you just say to yourself, "No, I know damn well, this person ain't no good for you." You can see it, but that person don't see it. They mind. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may not know that a person has that schizophrenic characteristics because you're so in love with that person. Or some people could display that right up front, and some people could be so damn desperate. You feel what I'm saying? But you're right; they should not have children. And I'm mute.
Okay. Hey, Brooklyn Tradition, what you think about that? Let me see if I can maybe use one. What you think about that Brooklyn Tradition on the YouTube? But yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have any kids. Let me play some more, y'all. Then we'll go to the other part. Let me see. There we go.
Decided who would be sterilized, and doctors were legally required to report potential cases. In less than a decade, roughly 400,000 Germans were sterilized under that law, 5,000 per month at its peak. Posters and pamphlets explained how much the unfit cost taxpayers. And in Germany's modern bureaucracy, sterilization was sold as efficiency. And then, eugenics merged with Nazi racial ideology. The Nuremberg laws banned marriage or sexual relations between Aryans and Jews. The idea of improving the population turned into an obsession with purifying it. And the next step after sterilization was murder. In 1939,
Okay, I'll skip all that part.
patients from their hospitals to 6 killing centers where there were gas chambers
Yeah,
in regions of the world to bolster it. No other nation attempted eugenics on that scale. Western countries have encouraged good breeding, sterilization of tens of
and that's
thousands.
crazy. So other countries was practicing this, but they did it in another way. Germany went a little too extreme with it, trying to eradicate people in a bad way. But so I'm gonna get into so that's enough of the video audio. I'm gonna get into what I pulled up, and I'm thinking that now moving forward as Black people, I think we should try to pick the right kind of partner. We should practice this. This should be a new culture. We should create a whole new culture of Black people making sure that we find a compatible mate. Take our time with it. Don't rush it. I'll even advise don't even get sexual when you first meet somebody. I see a lot of sisters are being celibate now till they find the right guy. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a start. In our community, we really need to do stuff like that because we can't keep going. We can't keep staying stagnant like we are. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have no generational wealth, and we are so far behind right now when it comes to that. So let me pull up. Let me see what I got. Because I was pulling up the race with the lowest IQ. And, one thing about AI won't try to be biased or whatever. They they kind of went in there and mess with it, so it won't be saying certain people, so folks won't get mad. But let me see what I got up here. I pulled up what I said the lowest. Hold on, this is it. Okay. So basically saying, why IQ tests show performance differences across racial groups in America. American Psychological Association (APA) and modern consensus emphasize that these differences do not reflect initial biological intelligence. Instead, test results are widely attributed to systematic e- environmental inequalities, including socioeconomic disparities, unequal schooling, and chronic stress. The context of standardizing testing, which you know about that, Red Hills, historically and statistically, African Americans and Hispanic population have second lowest lower an average on standardized AI IQ and aptitude tests compared to YT and Asian population. What you think about that? I might keep going.
According
But,
to who?
I
Think
guess,
about it though.
yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is that though, according to them, of
Mhm.
course they're going to put us down. Of course they're going to make us feel like we have the lowest IQ test. Who think about how can we as black people have the lowest IQ test when every invention in America that was made came from black people, and it came from black people during a time where we didn't have what the so-called dominant society has. So just think about it like that.
No, I agree.
History has, you know what I'm saying? No, I mean, so we can't even believe that. And I don't even think that nobody's believing that nowadays because think about it though, those particular testings were made to discriminate against us from the get-go.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? No, even at the school that I work at, we're trying to get rid of Regents testing because a child can do good all year round. All of a sudden, at the end of the year, you got to take a Regents test if you want to get your diploma. And some of the stuff is like, wait a minute, they get nervous and test whatever the case may be. But I said that to add to what I'm saying.
Mhm.
See, it's these people who control the writings and the books. You know, like the books at the school that most inner city or public schools deal with is McGraw-Hill. We know that McGraw-Hill is one of the most biased institutions ever that have written books, history books, and is circulated throughout the United States of America. So who are they to ever say that black? I'm going to speak for our people. I'm not going to speak for Spanish people because somebody else Spanish can speak on that. But I already have my reservations on that. But who are they to ever say, Dr. Mays, that we have the lowest IQ when we invented everything in America? Who better to have the highest IQ than the people who did all the inventions? And a lot of those inventions came out of a struggle where we had stressed minds, just like today. Who has the best the sports, the everything that we do, we master it. There's nothing that moves in America unless black people make it move. So how can those people have the lowest IQ? And I'm mute.
Yeah. Damn, bro, you was cooking. Somebody said you can't be serious. Stop. Amy, you know who Amy is, but
they're gonna say that though because they're see what it is though, Dr. Mays. We get to control the narrative now. It just all they can do is come on our live to try to get it taken down because they're not used to hearing us speak the way that we speak. Because in the past, like I always say, we had to listen to those other media conglomerates about this, that, and the third, like ABC, PBS, MSNBC, who they'll talk about something that affects us for 30 seconds, then they go to a commercial break and start talking about something else. Now we got the microphone for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like, whoa, we got to do something to stop them. Now they can't stop us, and I'm mute.
Yeah. So, and you're right. I mean, we created a lot of stuff you see now. My issue, and I've been saying this for a minute, we got to start talking about the present and the future with our people. Our forefathers set the stage for us. Hold on, my fault. I give you a good example. We got a forefather still living now, Dr. Claude Anderson. He have gave us the blueprint, the powernomics. I think that is the key. I mean, we can probably update it a little bit now, but he gave us the true key to unlock our minds and how we can compete with everybody else. We know we did in the past. Even our ancestors who have made that transition, they like, okay, we set the stage. So what are y'all doing? A lot of us are not continuing to do what we need to do. Well, our ancestors left us the blueprint. We got one still around, and we still send up here a lot of gagging. Not saying like me and you. I know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. I know a couple, but it's not enough of us, so the world don't see it like that because you got to build generational wealth. That's the only way you're gonna beat these people. You know what I'm saying? Now you talk.
And the main problem with that is though,
Yeah.
I think that there's a couple of problems to that though. A, you have too many of us, when we do make it, we gatekeep the wrong information. We're
Mhm.
not reaching back, helping our people out. So a lot of people who are still like their mindset, Dr. Mays, you can, none of us were slaves, but that trickle down slavery stuff is still in our bloodline, our way of thinking. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? We got to get out of that.
Oh yeah.
The only way we can get out of that is each one teach one. Start to read those books like Claude Anderson. Start to read all types of books
Mhm.
and just uplift and re-educate and unindoctrinate yourself. That's what we have to do. That's the start, number one. Number two, you're absolutely right. We have the world of social media. We have so many things that's at the tip of our fingertips where we can go out and do whatever. But sometimes when your mindset is still with the slave mentality or the shackles, it's just not as easy getting out there doing what you got to do. And you're right. I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. We can't keep saying, oh, this, that, and the third. We got to get out there. And
Yeah.
then, too, we just got to reach out for our people. We don't do that, Dr. Mays.
Yeah.
Most of us make it, not us, not me and you. A lot of us make it, they don't reach back into the communities. And we just don't. We got to reach back because all we got is each other. And
Yeah.
like I said, nothing moves in America if Black people don't make it popular.
Exactly. And the thing about it is that's true. Now I'm gonna break it down another way. The sad part about it, okay, let's go to the music part, hip hop. Everybody do hip hop. They came from Black people, right? You got even blues and all that stuff like that. Now think about it. Who own hip hop? It ain't us because we let
Right.
anybody in our world. We don't get like we should
Yeah.
gatekeep it. We didn't
Yeah.
gatekeep it, so we can't blame nobody but ourselves. We can't say
Right.
the white
Right.
man and
We,
white
we,
supremacy. Yeah.
we've been taught, Dr. Mays,
Mhm.
that in order for you to make it, you have to have a white tea accountant. You
Mhm.
have to have a white tea manager. Now we realize, like, no, 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 no. Especially with all the boycott and stuff going on, we're starting to see, we're just starting to see things differently. Unfortunately, Dr. Mays, it takes a tragedy to uplift all of us and all of us to get on the same page because most of us have been rocked to sleep with a certain political party, certain things has been put in our neighborhood. We've been rocked to sleep, or also too with the eugenics things. Certain races of people who come and they kind of coddle our Black men, especially when they get rich with the NBA. You start to see all of those, whatever, and then our
Hey,
women
don't
too.
talk about Becky.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so many elements that keeps us docile and keep us rocking us to sleep. We got to get out of that. And then we got to stop See, once we as Black people start to hate white tea supremacy more than we hate ourselves, because a lot of us don't like ourselves because we've been taught to hate ourselves. We've been taught to love everybody else and kumbaya with them. But now that we're getting out of that, you know what I'm saying? We're taking baby steps. It's not easy.
Yeah.
All this shit has done a doozy on us. And
Yeah.
I'm mute.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I'm with you on it. It's just like, but still, we gotta hold ourselves accountable. Unfortunately, so this is one of the things we gotta stop doing, y'all, in our community. So this is some of the stuff I pulled up in Red Hills Cooking. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to oh, here we go, professional victim. All right, Eric Baltimore.
Don't
We
they say that all the time?
yeah,
That's just what they say. You know what's really sad?
was that?
Go somewhere else. If you feel that we're professional victims, go somewhere else and listen to another live. Why
Yeah.
are you here when we're coming up with solutions to help our people? Why?
Exactly. So, of course, I'm pulling up this statistic. This is I mean, I pretty much believe that we all know about the whole thing with Black women. Not Anyway, let me get this. Yes, according to the CDC, National Vital Statistics, Black women in America, in the United States, have the highest percentage of birth outside of marriage. Approximately 70% of Black babies are born to unmarried mothers, compared to 54% of Hispanics and 28% of white women. However, the terms of raw numbers, more white unmarried babies are born each year due to the overall population size. For deeper demographic data, go to CDC. And I'm gonna touch on this. Now we know before integration came in, you know, um, most of the Black houses had both parents, in it, and then like I said, after the little transition happened, that's when you start having all these, unwed mothers and stuff like this. Now, this is the problem. This is another thing I want to touch on when it comes to that. Now, I blame Black men and Black women on this. First off, I'm gonna blame the Black woman for falling for that feminism crap. That would kind of mess a lot of them up. You know, a white woman's struggle was not the black woman's struggle. You know what I'm saying? So they should just left that alone, because you didn't hear no black woman complain about her man back in the 50s and 60s, and beyond that too, and then they kind of infiltrated that, y'all know the story behind all that, and that's where we at now. Now, shout out to the sisters out here, they're really calling this stuff out. They like, look, we don't hate our men. This is social media talking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women will listen to what they say on social media. I seen it, man. You scrolling through your phone, you seeing a bunch of angry black women talking about they man ain't ish and all that stuff. But I know a lot of black women like you on Red Hills. I know Kathy, LaRon, he's in a relationship, married, pretty much everybody. So it's like, what's going on here? Like, I mean, the people I know are in relationships, or if they're not in a relationship, they're not bad people. They just ain't found the right person yet. So we need to start promoting more stuff like that in our community, instead of showing. And we need to call out all this world star crap and all that junk. We need to stop watching it or stop commenting on there. If you don't get no views, no comments, it don't get no power. But we love that entertainment, so we're gonna keep on scrolling and looking at that crap. You know what I'm saying? And we just need to just get away from all that stuff, because it's not helping us. You don't see no other group, and they have issues in their communities, but they're not gonna promote or denigrate their women, and their women are gonna denigrate their men like that. I let my plan. You got it.
Yeah, what I was going to say to you too, though, that's something that we have to be very, very careful, because according to the CDC, though, black fathers are the number one males that are inside of their household.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of the propaganda that they push, and they have to show black fathers or black women acting a fool on TV, like some of the love and hip hop shows and all the fighting, the baddies girls. They have to show us in a negative look, because of the fact that it helps, what I'm saying, fuel their narrative.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us to change that. But unfortunately, we don't own too much media. But now we're getting on these social media platforms, and we're changing that propaganda. I said all that to say this, though. We have to be careful with our words. A lot of our people are going through a lot. I can't stand when I see a black person, let's say a black man, when he criticizes a black woman. I can't stand to see a black woman criticizing the black man. Any panel that Red Hills lady, bless the microphone with, I always tell our people, let's be careful with our words, because we are the most watched people in the world. Right. Everybody want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. And if they can find one snippet of that black woman or that black man talking about their people, they will take that and run with that. I'm going to tell you that the reason why the black woman gets the disrespect that she gets is because of the fact that when black men and black women get with their white tea or other race counterparts, they speak negatively of our people. One thing about white people, they don't care if their people are the top ones on the most heinous crime list. They don't go speaking ill about their people.
Facts.
We have to be careful. Look, if you choose that woman over there and she's white tea, whatever it gets me, that's your business. Do not blame black women because you chose a white tea woman. Don't blame black men because you say that you couldn't find a black brother. Look what happened to that sister who was with that white tea guy. See, you got to be careful too. When you do choose these people, remember, they have the complexion for the protection. If they do something wrong to you, more than likely they're not going to get arrested. Look at the one guy who was the black guy that his white girlfriend pew-pewed him up. They said he came home from a club. They was having an argument. She was drunk. She said she went to go clean her pew-pew, and it went off.
Yeah.
And it pew-pewed him, and he was unalive. See, the black community didn't come save him or march and protest for her to get arrested because he spoke so ill about us as black people.
Yeah,
so we
facts.
have to be careful of our words, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
right?
no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. You're right. And somebody, Kathy B said on YouTube, she said, I have been changing my feed to block out most of the negativity. Thank you, BT, aka LaRon. Yeah, man, you got to listen, y'all. If y'all go to my Facebook, I went dark, so y'all don't see no profile pic of me. Y'all don't see no cover page. It's just I post stuff in my stories, but I'm really getting away from the social media thing. I mean, I come on here and do what I need to do, and I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because this stuff is whooping our brains. Shout out to Broken Tradition. That's what he talking about. We're gonna be talking about this on the documentary We Control UP too. But yeah, so let me get into this part right here, y'all. And this is something we got, and you talked about this a while ago, Red Hills, about the like we talk about deformities and stuff amongst the black community. So in the United States, approximately 28 to 29 per 1,000 black babies are born with some kind of deformity, translating to roughly 13,000 to 15,000 black children annually. Overall, the total birth defect among black infants is slightly lower than or similar to white and Asian population. Those specific types of defects vary. Let me see. CDC birth defects homepage tracks specific anatomies and oh shoot, okay, hold on, y'all, just for a second. Let me do this real quick. With let me do this with the TikTok. With the I'm surprised they didn't hit me earlier. I had to do my thing. It tracks specific anomalies and their preferred rates across demographic groups. Major highlights regarding black children in the U.S. include lower rate. Let me see, baby infants have lower rates of conditions like cleft lip, and some is where I can't pronounce, y'all. I don't know what that is. Neural tube defects such as spinal, issues with their spine. That's why you see some of our people walk a certain way. If you notice, a lot of our people have like shorter legs and stuff. I've seen it a lot. Um, Let me see, muscular skeleton problems, without spine, um, extra fingers or toes, external ear malformations, and this is a lot of this is in Mississippi and Alabama too, y'all. I'm not trying to be funny, but especially Mississippi, Louisiana too. Let me see. While the initial birth defect rate is lower overall, black babies born to non-Hispanic and black mothers face higher rates of infant mortality related to birth defects. This is frequently linked to social um, dimensions of health, higher rates of preterm delivery, and challenges timely like for us, women ain't getting the proper, we call it prenatal care and stuff like that. And that's another thing too, man. Why would you go out here and mate with somebody? A lot of these guys don't have insurance. The woman probably don't have insurance. I remember that one. Okay, we sure did not. Okay, and that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Us having kids when we know we can't afford them, we got to stop that, y'all. I'm sorry, that's on us. You know your current situation. Wait till you get yourself together and find the right partner, and then y'all can talk about having a child. Like I told my kids, I said, listen, rule of my house is this. I've been preaching this since they were little. I said, don't have any kids till you rock 30 or 35, because by that time you should be established. You know what I'm saying? You should, been done with school and you should got your career together and stuff like that. My oldest son, he's doing that right now. He came over for Father's Day. We talked about it. We had a deep conversation about this. This is type I'm doing it with my kids, but I need the other 30 million black people to do it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have not then you gotta do it like I do it. But I'm just saying we need to have guidelines to teach your kids what or not to do. Because one of my youngest son, he got caught up in a situation, ain't gonna get too much in it. But I'm glad he got out of that thing without having no child by this woman. But we're gonna have to really sit down with our people when it comes to this. This is my solution to how we're gonna get better as a people. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to find your tribe. You're gonna have to find people who wanna take care of their bodies, work out, eat right. You know what I'm saying? Like to read, spend less time from social media, get you some sleep, drink a lot of water. You know what I'm saying? Just feed your brain with information, and then you need to connect with other people on that same level. I'm telling you, man, I cut a lot of people off. When you cut certain people off, you will see you'll think better. You know what I'm saying? You even start talking different and stuff. But if you hang around a bunch of degenerates, you're gonna act like them. And a lot of our people, even the ones up in my age, 50 and up, a lot of them still trying to live their second childhood. You know what I'm saying? Still out here trying to go out here wilding out, messing with all kind of guys and guys messing with all kind of women. You can't keep doing that, man. We can't afford that. As our people, as a people, we can't afford to do that right now. We need to hit that reset button. Like I said, if we're gonna do eugenics, we need to do it the right way, because it's the right way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with not dealing with somebody if they got certain issues and stuff like that. You got Red Hills.
Yeah, you know what, and you're so right though, and that's what I did though. But I had a lot of my friends are, educators, or they're into politics, or they're like I have a lot of legislative friends and the common council and stuff like that. I do. That's the level that I'm on. But I know within the last year, because I was up and getting the organization that I'm with together, and that we had to get voted in our positions and stuff like that. For the last year, what I did do, I had to do that too. I kind of cut a lot of people off, and I got quiet. I started reading more books, and I started just getting in tune with myself. I was looking in the mirror like when I speak. So when I'm out there on a microphone and I'm representing for our organization, I can know how to talk. I started doing more research. I stopped complaining and started just getting in tune with myself. And I tell my children this, and I tell my students this: get in tune with yourself. Stop trying to follow other people to see what they're doing, or stop questioning why you can't do this, though, and just start changing things. So you're absolutely right. You have to cut certain people off who are not on your path. But a lot of people who are on my path, they're really into politics. They're really into making a difference, because that makes me a better person, like you said, who you hang around with. You know what I'm saying? You are what you eat. You are who you associate yourself with.
Exactly.
I said all that to say this, though, Dr. Mays. I never want to sound like that. I keep blaming other people for our situations, but we have had so much happen to us, and we're coming out of that now. We're getting fine tuned with, okay, we're getting more smart with how we vote. In the past, so we used to just go vote, give up our vote to anybody, you know what I'm saying? No, not even question it. We went by symbolism that rocked us to sleep.
Great.
Now we're asking questions. Now we're saying, you know what? We're not supporting these businesses no more. We don't want these people in our neighborhood. So I'm going to launch our organization's website probably towards the end of the month, or probably by the 4th of July.
Cool.
And what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that our plan is to really re-educate our people. We're going to have a list of, how do you go to the Common Council? How do you go to your legislator? What questions should you ask? How to look it up online. Who should you be voting for? Why should you be voting for this? Don't be afraid to say, look, put reparations on the table. Make it all about you and your people. No more kumbaya, Dr. Mays. No more this. So I think that it's up to us, the ones who are gifted mentally and have that good jargon, that educational piece in our brain where we can just really re-educate our people. It's up to us to be.
Oh, had a phone call. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody want to call. We need to be the new leaders, because we know that Dr. Mays, let's just be real. A lot of these legacy organizations who were supposed to be there for us, they have failed us.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to be the new organization that don't fail our people. We have to make it specifically about us. That's the problem, Dr. Mays. We've been taught to, everybody got to be all inclusive. But if you go look at their websites, they're only inclusive for their people. It's always black and brown this, or the black and this. They got to mix us up in with people.
Exactly. And
why?
I don't know, man. I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Look, so this person named Grunt said Martha Sanger. We know about Martha Sanger. We know we know her. She ain't ish. And then somebody said, what party supports abortion? We know that too. Think about it. Yeah, we know Grunt, abortion rate by race, black babies 5-1. Think about it. Okay, Grunt, we know all this. We already talked about it. I'm pretty sure you're a YT guy. So I'm gonna play something I saw earlier with Dr. Claude Anderson. Man, it's crazy because it's like he knew I was going to talk about this topic. Make sure you hit the like button, y'all. Share it live. Hit the like button. Share this live. These are the type of conversation we need to start having more of if we want to talk about issues in amongst the community. We most definitely had these types. I mean, like I said, I'm all for eugenics in a way of making sure that we meet the right person. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we mate with the right person. Make sure we build a community of people that think like us. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not going to think, every black person, we're not a monolith. We're not going to be on the same page. It's just what it is. All right, listen to this part. Listen to this right here, y'all. All right, here we go.
The average white child, he now has an 87% advantage over a black child. Because everything that a white child needs to be successful in this society is in his community, in his church, in his business, in his neighborhood, in his school, in his culture. He can get it anytime he wants to. He inherits it. It is passed on from one generation to the next. Every child gets what he needs at birth. And a disadvantage for these black children is that you have never owned anything. You never controlled anything. And what you can pass on is what you cannot inherit. Because you see, all of our black leadership have had us focusing on things that are non-inheritable.
Mm.
You cannot inherit food stamps. You cannot inherit public housing. You can inherit a job. Every time I go to a civil rights organization, what are you doing to enrich black folk and give them something to pass on to their children? They say, well, we're going to try to get blacks some jobs. Why are you going to pass on a job to a black child? Why don't you build some businesses with stock, equity, and wealth and pass that on to them? Now, what we're going to do now, we got to change. We're going to have to flip the switch. Flip the switch. Power up on the powernomics principles. I'm going to give it to you again. We're going to have to flip the social economic switch and start learning how to power up on the powernomics principles. Now, how they get away with these things when we can't do anything is because we're not playing the game to win. We're not playing the game to win. The bottom line is this. If you're going to play the game to win, you must understand those powernomics principles in those books. The first thing you must do, you're going to have to go vertical, straight up and down.
Thanks.
Everything must be vertical because racism is vertical. Racism is not horizontal. It goes from the top to the bottom. Anything that's horizontal, stay away from it. Do not get involved in anything that is horizontal. That's a total, absolute waste of time. I know a lot of my friends want to get involved in horizontal issues. Anything that applies to everybody around the world is horizontal. Anything that applies to everybody around the world is horizontal. I got a lot of friends getting involved in religion. Religion is a horizontal issue. Anybody can belong to any religion. If you're black and you get involved and your primary issue becomes religion, then what happens is that the only people that benefit is only where those two issues will cross. Where vertical cross the horizontal, those people right behind it will benefit. And that's why I tell people up front, I don't care what religion a black person belongs to. He is my friend and member of my group. I don't get into the religious aspects of anything. I don't care whether you want to be a Mormon or Hare Krishna or you want to practice Hinduism, Buddhism, anything you want. I don't get into that. Sexism, that is a horizontal issue. I got all these guys over there, and they want to fight for women for this around the world. Women in Iran can't drive cars. That ain't my problem. That's not my problem. And I don't want that to be black folks' problem. That's between her and those people over there. Let them resolve that. The average
Hey,
black
man.
child.
Hey, boom. And let me tell you something. Dr. Clark Anderson got to teach us nothing else. His man, over 60-something years, gave you the blueprint. And that's what I'm saying. We got to understand. Like he said, other people set their kids up generational wealth. I'm doing it on my end. You know what I'm saying? But we got to practice it. We so focused on other stuff. Love and hip hop. Who got the biggest car? Who got the biggest house? And all of us mostly in debt. I know men, Broken Tradition talked about this, about the practice individualism. And I agree with him on some part. He said he just do kind of focus on himself right now, because I got another part that said the same thing. You know why? Because a lot of our people had given up on our people because we have been preaching and out on the streets for a long time. And like I told you, unfortunately, a lot of us ain't gonna make it. And I still stand by that. We're not. Some people don't want it, and some of us, we're just gonna let some of them fall in the volcano. And because them the ones that are gonna hold you back, even your family members. Now, there's a lot of black people that want it. They want good. Like I said, I have no issues even with the boule. The only person I got wrong with the boule, they loyal to one party and they think it better than the average black person. Now, as far as them having class and stuff like that, I'm with that. We need to bring classism back to our community. I remember when you see them pictures back in the 50s and 60s, black kids had on suits, girls had on long dresses. You see the black man and black woman together out and about. We need to bring that back. That's not outdated. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Red Hills. That's not outdated. You feel me? Like we should practice that, bring that back, or create a whole different culture like that. We'll be all right. And like I said, but you got to find the right partner who's with that. Because a lot of people, they say they want this, but they don't. You got a lot of us, not just black people, but a lot of us, we in relationships, but we still tipping around on our partner. You know what I'm saying? You want that marriage life, but you still want to play around a little bit because your partner might want to be, satisfying you sexually. We can't be doing that. We can't, of all people, now all races do it, but we can't afford to do that because we don't have no kind of generational wealth. We have no kind of economic power. Other groups can afford to do that. We can't. We need to be in solid relationships. We need to have healthy babies, healthy families, healthy communities. That's the only way you're going to win. You know what I'm saying? And these other groups can talk that junk too, because they see that amongst us. We can't keep talking about the past. We can't keep talking about Harriet Tubman and all these people. They did what they gonna do. Their time have passed. We need to focus on the now. This is a game that we playing. And listen, it's about power. Everybody's playing this game right now. You know what I'm saying? Survival of the fittest. This is a fact. You know what I'm saying? Technology is taking over. We lacking in that. It's gonna affect everybody, not just black people. But you got to prepare yourself, man. I'm on a whole new mission. I don't give a damn. Listen, man. All this stuff they be talking about on TV and stuff. Some of the stuff I didn't even know. I heard about the situation with the sister got shot. I mean, got unalive. I forgot I'm on TikTok too. Got unalive by the cops because she decided, from what I've gathered, I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow. But when I'm hearing from my other people that I've been on this topic, that I guess she tried, her and a friend was shoplifting. They got caught, so they called the police on them, and they tried to, I guess, drive a cop over, and the cops, pew-pewed the car. A baby was in the car. She lost her life. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Men, be careful who you have children with. Where's the father? The baby should have been at home. That baby should have been at home, y'all. I'm not saying what the cop did was right. But y'all know you cannot use your vehicle for a weapon. I don't want to hear all that. We got to go protest and the white supremacy. They trying to take us out. No, that was a decision she should not made. Her and her friend. The mother, the father, supposed to protect the child. You cannot put your children in harm's way, y'all. I'm sorry. And like I said, I gotta go and look more into the story. But it have been cases that we put our own people in harm's way, and we quit to go blame somebody else. Is racism for real? Hell yeah! You got adulterers out there. You got MURDER. You got those people. You got the grapists out there. They're always gonna be people like that. But you got to hold yourself accountable too. It's just a fact. And I'm not gonna sit up here and act like it's one group that always affecting our way, how we move and stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do that no more. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because that is holding us back. Listen, I got issues. I got stuff I gotta work on. You guess who's responsible? Guess I'm holding myself accountable. I'm not holding nobody else accountable, y'all. Any failures in my life is on me, nobody else. Nobody's holding me back to do anything. Unless I just get sick and I just can't take care of myself, that's different. That's different. But that being said, y'all, we did an hour. And like I told y'all, I believe in eugenics as far as finding the right mate who you have your children by, building up a family, building up a community. So like everybody's doing this. There's nothing wrong with trying to mate with somebody who's on the same level you on, the same status you on. Both of you had both parents in the house. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Education levels on point. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If you got a certain look, if you in shape, there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. We don't have to be ashamed of that. Is everybody gonna have a nice shape, be nice figure, gonna look good? No. But you find who works for you and you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? And that being said, y'all get the playback of this. Make sure y'all like and follow and all that. We on YouTube, we on TikTok. Make sure y'all follow, like, share, and all that good stuff. And I should be on tomorrow. I want to touch on that thing, what happened with that lady, her child getting on the live. I'm gonna touch on that a little bit. And plus, y'all don't be on that technology piece. I got some stuff for y'all. So be looking out for my videos and stuff on YouTube and TikTok. Fan base. I'll be posting a lot of technology stuff I've been pulling up. There's a lot of new stuff out there, y'all. And make sure y'all get ready to if you want to be a part of the new documentary, We Control You P2. I know, of course, on YouTube, I got some people gonna be in it. Shout out to Broken Tradition, Kathy. You know what I'm saying? So I have some people reached out to me on TikTok too. So this is gonna be a good one, y'all. We're gonna break it out in the fall. So we're gonna release it in the fall. We'll start working on it probably next month. And that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace.